Okay. Welcome, everybody, or almost everybody. Today, we're going to talk about your mentorship, your experience about your mentorship. And the objectives are the first one, to exchange information about your experiences and give some tips to your fellow mentees about the experience that you had that derived from your mentorship whenever you were here. And also it's an opportunity to start networking and netweaving. The next webinar, which is going to be either on artificial intelligence or implementation science, we will invite everybody from all classes. And that is an attempt for people to start contacting people from the past or from the present. And expected results at the end of the meeting, we expect that everybody will have a better understanding on how to benefit the most from the program. And of course, strengthen the interactions between classes of multifarians. And I'm going to ask you, because we haven't shared the information about the mentees. I think we shared the information about the mentors. But if it's okay, we're going to ask all the mentees. We would like to share some of your information with everybody, of course, abbreviated, especially ways in they can communicate with you, if that's okay with all of you. The agenda has already started, and I will give a brief introduction. The panelists will introduce themselves, and then we will open for questions and answers and an open forum. If we don't get any more people, we'll talk among themselves, because it's always tremendously useful for me to listen to your ideas, to listen to your comments, your critiques, etc. And finally, we'll give you the conclusions that we have from this meeting and what we are going to do in the future. Before I introduce, I want to remind everybody that the program focuses on 3 areas. The one that most people are interested in is the professional development, how to get a job, how to enter a high education program, a critical job interview, etc. Some people, and this is not the majority, are interested in technical and scientific knowledge. And here, most of people in this area want to know about research, publish their thesis, or a publication. We are not a teaching program. So if you want to learn epidemiology, we are not the place to do it unless your mentor wants to help you in that area. And I'm really interested in your personal growth. Know thyself, your ikigai, things that you are going to use for the rest of your life. The 3 questions that are derived also from our acronym, the 3 questions to find your pathway: who am I, what am I, and what is my ikigai? My profession, my mission, my vocation, and my passion. 3 questions to seek your opportunities. How do I know what I want? Especially, how do I find and get what I want? And then you need to make your decisions. How do I choose? What should I choose? And how do I know this is it? Sometimes you are disappointed. You have thought about coming into a program, and then when you're there, say, oh, come on. I knew everything, but they are not teaching me anything new. And you may get disappointed, or you go to an institution. My first 2 years at Pajo, I wanted to leave. And it was my dream since I was 8 years old. But it was such a different cultural environment that I felt lost. Took me 2 years, and then I loved it. So give it some time. Most people enter into the program through opportunities. And a few enter because they have already an offer of a job or a possibility of entering a university, or they want to make a decision or to move to another country or whatever. And this is particularly important for some of the younger people because you are all multi-potentialites, that you have so many interests, so many talents, so many things in which you are interested, you can feel lost. I mean, what am I going to do? For you, it's not as clear as it was for me or for Molly or for Mariela. I knew since the time I entered medical school what was going to happen to my life. So for you, it's not the same. So that's what is important, that you find out, what are you? What are you? Okay, this is something that I wanted to show you because we're trying to have some standardization or discipline in the way we do the final evaluation. And remember that the first objective of the program is to help you advance and speed up your future or your career and also your personal development. So I'm going to give you an example. Initiated, we don't consider that an advancement, even if you came from zero. Initiated, for example, Pathways has made clear answers to who am I and what am I now, okay? In Progress is mentee defining or has already defined her own answer to what is my ikigai. Almost Achieved, if you have a clear answer to what am I going to do now at the end of your mentorship. And Achieve, if you have a clear answer to what am I going to do in the future. And you put here the timeline that you want, in 5 years, in 10 years, when I'm 80, whatever. Getting the desired job and entering a higher education program, they are very, very similar. You need to research the institutions to which you want to apply. In Progress, you send your applications after you targeted the ones that you really want, and Almost Achieved when there's an indication that you may enter that institution. Maybe that the organization wants to interview you, and then that is wonderful. And Achieve when you get a job offer or acceptance into a program. These two may happen the following year because some universities don't let you know that you were accepted until March or April of the following year. So we need to follow up, and some people stay in the program for 2, 3, or more years. Publications, document outline, the drafts of the document that your mentor can help, even if she or he doesn't know much about your theme. And I keep mentioning that with Charlie Shang, that she was writing on gender discrimination in the European Parliament. I had no idea, but I was able to help with some ideas about structure and about logic. Final Almost Achieved, but they send the final document, and the document is accepted when it has achieved with or without revisions. So this is something that we are going to send you because in December, we're going to do the evaluation of the program, of your experience with the program. And I wanted to show you this because Anaili has made this slide with the experience of 6 years. And what you see here is pathways, job, academic, achievement, publication, and other. And these are the opinions of mentees and mentors. At the beginning, we didn't have identification of anybody, so that's the reason they were unmatched. And all of these are unmatched. But you can see that they are quite similar with some exceptions. For example, in this case, mentored, but we don't know if they are the same mentors than the mentees, their mentees didn't reach what they expected regarding publications. But in the rest of them, they actually did it or surpassed it. The first year, The first 2 years, actually, I put 60% of, I'm sorry, 60%, oh, 60% as the threshold for success. Because we surpassed that, I moved it to 60, and then 70, and finally 75. I don't know if we are going to move it to 80. 75 seems to be a reasonable threshold of advancement in the mentee's goal. And remember, in the beginning we asked for 14 sessions, then we decreased them to 10 sessions, and now we have a minimum of 7 sessions. And even with that, 1/3 do not meet their mentor 7 times. And we also have some graphs on that, the difference between 7 and more, and 6 and less. And the differences are statistically significant, all of them. Okay. Here, I want to show you, just look at the bottom. I'm sorry. What happened here? Oh, this one I had at the end. What happened? And I think I put, oh, some of them I had already decided I'm not going to show it, so I will go very fast. Here you have the 7 years of experience. It is your fault because I'm clicking on your images. And okay. I don't know how to, okay. I don't know how to move you, but you can see that none of the difference are significant. So both mentors and mentees had the same results. See, not significant. This one I didn't want to show you. I don't know why it came here. Well, you can see 79, 79. So it was almost exactly the same in all the ones we have regarding pathways, job, academia, publication, and other. There's something important about the other, because in the last 2 years, we look at other. And when we look at other by gender, we found out that women, many times, what they got out of the mentorship was more self-confidence. And that was mentioned by more women than men. So that tells us that we still need to do more in that area, because women are so good. And I mentioned that last time. I was talking to one of my friends. He's also a physician, 80 years old, like me. And I said, well, I found out 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that what I suspected is true. Women are better than men. Sorry, Gopu. And then he said, yes, oh, I have known that since we were in medical school. Because the ladies were better than us at studying and, the exams and everything, but they didn't have the same recognition that we had as men. And this is what is happening until the 60s or 70s. Before that, no way. Okay. I'm going to pass this very fast because I already presented this. Also this. Okay. This. Okay. Oh, yeah. I think I'm finished because I have already surpassed my time. And you can see here the same, the opinion of the mentees and the mentors regarding their goals, and it's very similar to what you saw before. Okay. Okay, well, thank you very much. And now I'm going to go. You know what happened on 80? I used the old presentation, not the new.
Well, the panelists can present themselves.
Why don't you present? Let me stop sharing.
Okay.
And you present the ones that we have. Okay.
Yep.
Anail is my quality control and assurance.
Okay, so
Every time I make a mistake, I say, this is awful. This is the first mistake in 80 years. Oh, I'm really going back. Okay, Phyllis, you come first. And here's, you can see that she has a Master of Science in Applied Parasitology, and her Bachelor of Science was in Biology, Botany, and Zoology. So, Phyllis, please tell us about your life. Hello?
Hello. It's evening wherever I am. I'm not sure whether it's evening for everyone. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. As you've heard, my name is Phyllis Muniva. I am currently a student. I am doing epidemiology at the Swiss Tropical and Public Health Institute. Majorly, I have been working on infectious diseases over the last 5 to 7 years, but I focus mostly on bilharzia, which is also called schistosomiasis for those who are aware of the name. Before that, I worked with the Ministry of Health a lot, also to do with neglected tropical diseases, and I was in the implementation program. So basically, what we did was to ensure that we meet the country and set goals of elimination and control of these diseases. Currently, I'm still working on schistosomiasis, as I've said, but now with a focus on children under 5 and in hard to reach vulnerable populations. So yes, basically that's me in a nutshell, and I will answer more questions as they come through.
Great.
I don't know whether did I leave something that I needed to say more than that?
Well, you left. Okay. Well, they're going to ask you about your experience and the decisions that you had to make.
Yes.
At the time that you were in the mentoring program.
Okay. Brilliant. Yes.
So next one. Here we come with Chan. And as you can see, she was in one of the best universities of the world, the Peking University. And then she had the Erasmus Mundus in European studies, and she was in Germany, Sweden, and France. Where is Italian? And then she went to Perugia, and I must brag about her. She was in a poetry contest in Italian, and she got it. She got it. And before that, she studied international relations at the Diplomatic Academy of Vietnam. And now she's going to tell you what has happened with her life and her career. Please, Chan.
Okay, hi. I just want to make sure that people can hear me. So can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay. So I have to share with everyone that I met Fernando 4 months ago in Washington, D.C., and I couldn't forget that very emotional moment. So I want to share with you, and I want to highlight that even though the mentorship program was entirely virtual for me, the relationship and the people are real. Actually, Fernando wrote wrongly the year that I participate in the program. So I was in the program between 2021 and 2022. But I know one of the reasons why Fernando got it wrong, because I have been constantly communicating with him. I have bothered him so much for the past few years. And especially when I travel to a different country, I would ask him, do you have any contact there? So, for example, in 2022, when I visited Ethiopia, Fernando connected me with a mentee in the program, Bezavit, one of the panelists that you would hear from in the next few minutes. I just want to share that right now, I'm not working in the health sector, but the mentorship about health has changed me in many different ways. To be honest, I joined the program during the pandemic just because I wanted to talk about health. And not many people around this world dared and care to talk about health, even though it's an essential part of our life. Just 15 minutes ago, I just concluded an interview with a human rights lawyer from Malaysia about death penalty, and in which most of the past we were discussing health, because how we define a person dead when the person has to be hanged or injected lethal substance. Also, I have a bunch of Arabic friends, and whenever they ask me, they use the phrase in their own language, how are you? But it means how your heart is doing. It's also about health, heart and health. And right now, I'm a writer, and constantly moving, crossing the borders, helped me improve health, according to a doctor that I consulted, also from the program. Because when you move, when you travel, actually your body has to be adapted to different types of weather. And it increased your sense of immunity instead of the common perception that only healthy people can travel. Also, I had to say that Fernando is a busy retiree because he believes that he can only feel healthy when being busy.
Mhm.
Right now, I am a writer, and health is one of the topics that I often write about. But I write about health from a human rights perspective, and I can't wait to share with you how I got into this point. It was actually during the sessions with my mentor that I constantly questioned my understanding of health from an individualistic and collectivist perspectives. You know, mentorship in my language means cố vấn, and the word cố vấn comes from a Chinese word, 顾问. And 顾问 has two smaller words. 顾 means to take care of, and 问 means to ask questions. Both my mentor and Fernando constantly ask questions, and their questions make me come up with even more questions. But asking questions is key to moving forward in life, as I have experienced, because only people who questions would really take into consideration different options, different possibilities, know how to tackle different types of uncertainties. I really want to share with you many more stories afterwards, but I think my time is up. Thank you.
I would like for you to say something about your childhood in Hanoi.
Do you want me to share it now or later on?
About your family and you as a child in Hanoi before you had all these successes. If you want to share with us.
Oh, but you want me to share it now, or you want? Okay, because I think that I used up my time, but I would love to share it later on.
That will be a question for later then. Okay. So next we have Alex. Alex from Romania, and she has a very diverse background. You can see, even if it's European public health and global health, she's now working in an area that is related but focused on something else. So she's going to tell us about what is happening in her career. Alex, please.
Thank you very much. So good afternoon or good evening, and I'm sorry if my voice is a bit breaking. I have corona. I just came from holiday and the last week, and this week was not so easy on me, but I'm gonna try. Yeah, so since my studies, I've joined the program in 2017. It was I was trying to finalize my second master thesis, and that's what I meant. My mentor, who was supportive, doesn't even cut it, but with whose help and guidance I managed to finish my second thesis. So that was because at that time I thought like I was so lost and overwhelmed with everything. I just wanted to give up. Finalizing the thought, like just giving up the thought of finishing my second master's, and my mentor was, yeah, the most supportive person I could have had in that moment, and helped me to bridge that gap and find the confidence. So with his help, I finished. And after that, I started in a small startup in medical devices. So I'm since 2018, I'm working in medtech sector. I started with startup, like it was just from the start, like one of the first people to join that company. And they were doing medical devices for minimally invasive surgeries, for laparoscopic surgeries. I joined as a project manager for 3 years. Not only because in a startup with 5 people, you have multiple hats at the same time because it's so little people and so much to do. So I worked in quality, also a bit in finance, also a bit in like project management and everything. And after 3 years, I would I felt it was a bit enough in that company, and then I switched to Philips. So since the last 4 years, almost 4 years, I'm working now for Philips. I'm a quality manager in Philips, and yeah, it's also had different roles. I think now it's my second role. I started as a quality support, and now I'm a quality manager. And I'm supporting audits, CAPAs, mostly audits at the moment. And it's a bit hard. I don't know, like a bit intimidated after going after a writer, so I don't have, and especially a bit clouded, being a bit sick. But if you have any specific questions, I'll answer them after the introduction.
Well, wonderful, Alex. You are a hero. I mean, you are here with your COVID, and thank you so much for participating. He has lots of experience to talk about. Okay, thank you. Let's go. Lisa. Oh, she's not here.
She's not here. I will skip her.
No?
I think she's not here. Yeah.
Yeah, she's not here. Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Lisa, where are you? Okay.
Hi,
I can see you now. Okay. Sorry.
yeah, I have a very bad flu, so excuse my voice. Um, Good morning, everyone. So my name is Bezawit. I'm a medical doctor from Ethiopia. Now I'm doing my master's at George Washington University and Global Health FP and Disease Control Program. So I joined Multipod. I have to say I was a kid then because a lot happened since then. I was just a medical student, third year medical student when I joined. So I knew that I wanted to be a physician there. at that time that the conditions I was seeing in the hospital, especially working in a government hospital, made me realize that I wanted to do more, especially in terms of prevention. So that's when I heard of multipod and public health. So I just, why not? So I was assigned to my mentor, Dr. Gustavo. And at that time, I was very new to public health. So he basically told me what public health is and the extent of the difference that can make. He told me about how to do research. We were able to publish a paper together while I was still a medical student, which really helped me in my career as well. And after a year of that, I still didn't want to let go of multipod because it really helped me and I wanted to continue. So I remember I emailed Fernando and I told him that I still want to stay on. So he basically took me as his mentor. And at that time, I was still a medical student, but I was a final year medical student. So I was considering on what I was gonna do after graduation. And Fernando really, his belief in me, his motivation really helped me. He keeps telling me that I could do anything, um, which helped me to kind of push myself to see what's really out there. And so I was like, why not do my MPH somewhere else, like the US? And he told me what's possible as long as I put in the work. So I applied. He helped me with along the way with choosing the universities and everything. He was with me every step of the way. And then with God's grace, I got a scholarship to study my MPH at George Washington University. So I still I basically want to be a physician researcher because I don't want to choose either one. I love the medicine and I also love the difference the research makes. I want to work in both fields. Most of my work has been on infectious disease work, HIV, monkeypox, especially around Africa. I'm still very much early in my career and I could go in any direction. I'm very open to new experiences, but multipod was a life-changing experience for me and I would recommend it to everyone and I tell it to everyone I meet as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Besa. She forgot to tell you that she was also accepted at an Ivy League university, and she got a full scholarship to George Washington here in Washington, and that's why we have her here. And the important point here is that when somebody is so good, I tell her, you should shoot for the stars. Don't go, with just any university. Look for the best, the one you really want. And you'll be surprised because you are competing with people from many places and you're as good as them or better than them. Okay. Thank you, Besa. And do we have somebody else? Oh, Molly, please.
Hi, everyone. I'm so honored and humbled to be in this very multi-talented group. And I think that's one of the things I love about Multipod is that it's so diverse in so many ways. I think both mentors and mentees bring such a wide range of all different kinds of experiences. I mean, I'm loving the writing, the writing aspect, and all of it. So I started, according to your information, I couldn't remember when I exactly started, but I guess it was 2022. Is that right? Or was it before? Yeah, it's been a little bit. And I think like other people, maybe during COVID, well, I had some changes sort of indirectly related to COVID, but also some personal circumstances and, you know, needing to care for a parent. And I like to, at first I wasn't mentioning that to my mentees, but I started to mention it because I think it's something that I never thought about. And it's definitely a really important global health issue, you know, with aging populations. I've spent a lot of time working with different areas of inclusion and social determinants, and had really focused through like sexual and reproductive health and HIV work on younger populations and the inclusion around that, and trying to address that so that health systems would be more equitable, and that so we were addressing these different health issues more effectively. And it was only through this personal experience that I really started to realize all of the dynamics around that older populations are facing. And it's kind of tied with like ableism and ageism, and there's all of these very interesting social factors that I suddenly realized, like, oh, these are social determinants of health that I've been working with my whole career, but I had never kind of seen it right in front of me in my own life. So I think that's like the really one of the really valuable things that I've noticed about this program is that both the mentors and the mentees can come to learn about these things through that sort of very personal interaction. And so yeah, so that's just an aside. But just to say that that's sort of how I came about being able to do the program, as I was just had some different logistical situations. I also have my own company that is called Juxta Health, and it's the same idea of working with like the areas juxtaposed to health. So the social determinants, which are something, again, I think I've come about through the past 20 or 30 years, sort of sideways. I think I kind of was involved in different work, and then I, you know, went overseas, and then I went to school, and I went overseas again, and then I went to school, and sort of just learning all along the way and coming to the same conclusion that was mentioned earlier, that literally I see everything as health. Like people talk about, oh, education and health. No, for me, education is part of health. Like literally I keep trying to challenge myself. And actually I'm teaching a course now of students, and I'm challenging everyone to tell me something that isn't actually part of health. And so I think it's there's just a lot of exciting opportunities in global health now because of some of the rate of change in the world, you know, with climate change and so many, you know, just sort of the dynamic, the digital transformation around the world. And so I think there's opportunities that are there, and it's this sort of, it's not always intergenerational, right? It could be like a mix of experiences. You can't assume that more experience means a higher age or vice versa, but you do have that mix. And I think with that, through that mix, you come up with more innovative ideas, and it's mutually beneficial, I think, is one of the things that I feel very strongly about. And it's something that will advance the field of global health. So, you know, I think just through these sort of personal experiences and perspectives, and the combining of both, you know, someone newer to the field and someone that's like older to the field, you get a lot of these really exciting opportunities. So I don't know, I guess I'll leave it at that. I don't know if I answered if I presented what I was supposed to present, but yeah, I'm just delighted to be part of this program, and just all of you. You're amazing. I look forward to this discussion.
Wonderful, Molly. Thank you very much. Let me tell you something about Molly that I haven't told her. Some of her mentees have written that they want to be like her. And you know, she's very modest, but this is one of the most important roles of a mentor. Somebody identifies in the mentor something and says, oh, I wish I had this quality, etc. And for a mentor, it's the other way. When I see somebody as brilliant as many of the mentees I have had, I think, I wish I had been like that when I was 25 or 30. Because she has no idea of how good she is, and that her life is going to be very good, and that she's going to help many people. So it is important. It's both ways. Your mentor can see your future. Your mentor can see your future. And that's why the advice that he or she gives you is with confidence, with faith, not only hope, with faith. And that is very important for a mentee to know. It's not just to make you feel better. It's just because that is the truth. Okay, sorry. We have 3 more people here that I would like to say something. Oh, actually.
Yeah, we have Dr. Mariela. She's the last one.
Mariela, and then we have, Charlie? I don't see your name, Charlie. You're Charlie? Who is missing? Gopu left. And we have Ellie, of course. Oh, Gopu, you are there. Okay, so we have after Mariela, we have, I tell you something about Mariela afterwards. So please, Mariela.
Thank you, Fernando, and it's a pleasure to be here with you all. My name is Mariela Contreras, and I'm currently based in the outskirts of the capital city, Tegucigalpa, in Honduras. I'm a nutritionist. I had the opportunity to study in the United States. Then I came back home, and I worked for a development project funded by the World Bank. I was very interested not so much in clinical nutrition, but much more in what is community nutrition and public health. And I came to the realization that I wanted to study public health, and I decided to go to Sweden. And there I was able to finish my master that at that time, it was called International Health, and now it's a program in global health at Uppsala University. And well, they gave me the opportunity to do my PhD studies there. Came back to Honduras again in 2015, and I've been working in the NGO sector. I had a small chance to be as well at UNICEF. And starting the pandemic, I changed a bit my pathway, and I went into the academia. And in the last couple of years, I've been teaching at the nutrition department at a private university here, and also working with editorial. I was editor-in-chief of the scientific journal, of one of the scientific journals of the university. So now I'm in a period of change again. I decided not to renew my contract, and I want to go back to the NGO sector. So I'm in the process of looking for jobs and applying, and I met Fernando in 2018 through LinkedIn. We had a meeting, and then I joined Multipod, and so far it has been great. I've had mentees from the US. I've had mentees from Sweden, and also my last mentee was from Slovenia. I currently took a break this year from being a mentor, but it has been a really rewarding experience and a two-way, I think, learning time for them, but also for myself. So it's great to be part of this network, and also to get to know so many people from different places, you know, and supporting each other in advancing careers, or just engaging and being able to have good conversations on the global public health field. So thank you for for listening.
Thank you, Mariela. And Mariela is another one of the most sought after mentors. This doctor from Slovenia, I won't say the name, had no idea about nutrition or anything else. But when he saw Mariela's background, he said, oh, well, please, let me have Mariela as my mentor. And the following year, he said, please, can I stay another year with her? So that to me is an indication of the bond and the usefulness and the benefit and the effectiveness of a mentor. And he really said, please, because sometimes I'm told, no, it's for the new ones. And some people ask to remain in the program. And thanks to Mariela, this young man stay another year. Okay, we have Gopu and Kutisha, and of course Ellie, and who else? And Gopu, why don't you go? And then we ask Ellie, and finally Kutisha. Because we're not going to have questions, we're going to have just an exchange of experience and information.
Okay.
And then I'm going to send it to all the people who said they were going to come and didn't. No, perhaps we should just let them know that it was great, that we had about 100 participants. Okay, Gopu, please go ahead.
Thank you, Fernando, for this opportunity, and hello, everyone. My name is Gopu Krishnan, and I am a medical doctor with my focus being palliative and old age care. I shifted, so I am a late entrant to public health. I left my clinical position when I was already past 35 to go to Amsterdam for my master's in public health. And when I had finished that in 2020, it was at the height of the first wave of the pandemic. And it was not easy to find the right sort of positions. And I did struggle quite a lot because it was a decision that I felt I had taken rashly to leave my clinical career and try to make an entry into public health. And I came in touch with Fernando when during a particularly difficult phase, like many of the earlier speakers echoed here. It was a time when I really needed someone to believe in me because I had lost belief in myself. And Fernando gave that belief to me. And this to me, in a lot of ways, when I reflect back on what I have learned, and like most of us know each other remotely, but the connections are very, very real, as a previous speaker mentioned. So for me, when I work with the mentees that come to me, and sometimes we just connect wonderfully, and sometimes less so. And I think, like Fernando said, it also has to do with the number of meetings. And personally, I feel the how quickly the first meeting gets arranged is actually an indicator of how the rest of the relationship is going to go. So whereas 7 might be the magic number for Fernando, I almost always know it from the first one, which way this is going to go. So in those conversations, I have tried to give to my mentees a little bit of what I got from Fernando, which is allowing them to believe in themselves. And often that is all that is required, and often that is all that one can do. But nevertheless, when I look back at my own experiences, as well as the experiences of some of the people that I have worked with here, as well as outside, a few lessons that keep come to me is usually when people reach out for mentoring when they are stuck. And they feel they're stuck, right? They may be stuck in their academic career, in their professional career. So when you're stuck, keep moving. While you may have, you may be very clear about where you wish to get with your career. It is often important to take the next step that is available to you, as long as it is in the general direction of where you think you should be going. So keep moving, and as you keep moving, take stock and be ready to pivot. But if you wait for the right opportunity to come your way to start moving, um, you may end up waiting a long time, because I did this. And when I go back and I look at my own career, so for example, there was a time when I felt, so when someone leaves at a certain age, a certain kind of job, they are looking for entering the global health at a certain level. So in my case, I wanted to go with the the big name organizations. And for a long while, I was not looking at opportunities that are available to me, but waiting for opportunities that I thought I should be having. But then eventually, when my career really began to shift the moment I realized, or the point at which I decided, you know, the things that you may have wanted for yourself are probably not going to happen, or not going to happen in a time and in a manner that you thought they should happen. But that doesn't mean that there is nothing for you to do. There is a lot to be done if only you are willing to do it. And with that mindset, I also decided to focus on one core area, which, if you can, when someone in their uh, early to mid stage of their career, when someone is focusing on too many different things at once, I get a little concerned. I would suggest that they focus on one, or at the most two areas, which are, because it's important for a person in their early to mid stages in their career to create a consistent narrative of their own life and where it is to go. Uh, and you may not be able to have that if you spend in 18 months in 5 different fields. Right? So because again, I did that. There was a time in which I was working on too many different titles. And again, I can only speak from my experience. So please do not take what I'm saying as the ultimate. I'm only speaking from my experience, right? In my experience, my life began to turn when I decided to stop focusing on a handful of different themes at once, and decided to focus on one core theme, which I felt was more consistent with my own life narrative to that point and my experiences to that point. So I decided to focus on palliative care and geriatrics. I deliberately sought out an assignment in the in the country, in the heart of the uh, of India, the so-called Hindi heartland, where and Fernando is aware of this position. So I really got my hands dirty, got into the trenches, got my hands dirty, um, and I completely gave up any attempts to. I have not applied for any jobs in the past 2 to 3 years, right? Because when I was looking at what are the opportunities in front of me, they always presented, and when I felt something had stalled and I was ready to pivot, there was another opportunity in front of me, and I took that one. So where we are right now is, we are at this point looking to be the primary partner to the government of a state in India called Karnataka, which is roughly the size of the UK. And we would be the primary partner in providing community-based and institutional palliative care and geriatric care to a metropolitan city with population of 15, 16 million.
There's something very
And
there's something very, very interesting about Gopu that he just mentioned in passing. Gopu, as you can see, is extremely intelligent. He could go anywhere and be successful, but he elected to remain in India. He has studied in Amsterdam at the KIT Institute of Tropical, at the Royal Tropical Institute. And his work in some areas that many physicians don't dare to go. Palliative care. He's an oncologist too, deals with cancer patients. And just helping people go through that transition from life to the end of life. I mean, it's so tough. And everything that Gopu has done has been useful. Now, if he tells you, oh yeah, you shouldn't go into too many areas, he had been able to put everything together, everything that he's learned together. And when he writes to you, always after his signature, he writes a thought, could be from Mahatma Gandhi or could be somebody else or himself. He's also a guru. He's also a guru. That's why I identify him as one of the best mentors that should be followed and leaders, because he knows exactly his mission in the world. And it has taken him years, but he's very clear about that. Sorry about telling them, but he's profoundly human. Profoundly human. And that's what I like very much on God. Profoundly human. You want to see a complete human being, just look at God. So everybody's going to ask to be your mentee now, including myself. Okay, thank you. We have Ellie, please. Oh,
Okay.
can we stay 5-10 more minutes so that you can listen to of course, if you need to leave, that's okay. We have somebody who is not feeling well. Alex, if you want to go to bed, we will. Oh, no, okay, good. Okay.
Don't worry, I'll make it short. Can everybody hear me okay? Well, hi, everybody. I'm Ellie Bertfa, and my mentee is on this call as well. So, Julio, good to not see you because you're not feeling well as well. But I've been involved in the program for a couple years now. This is what it boils down to is never let Fernando be your office mate at PAHO, because he observes you working with interns and mentees ahead of time and then connects with you with Multipod. But that's how we met. My background is a little different. I have a degree in, my undergrad is in art. My master's is in public health. And so serendipitously, I've worked at major nonprofit organizations, Alzheimer's, diabetes, PAHO Foundation, also served as an assistant dean at the University of Maryland. So busy, but I would say, Gopu, I loved your comments and your advice to the mentees. Be fearless. Always ask. You see, I've been connecting with people for LinkedIn, and I'm really an advocate of LinkedIn for just, getting to know people. Julio will tell you that when he was looking to apply in the States, I just connected with the person that was head of the program and said what a wonderful person he was, and now he's going to go study there. Now, I'm sure he has a lot more to do with that than my little LinkedIn message to his advisor, but never know. So my advice to you guys is just to be fearless, always ask, connect with all of us around here, because you never know. I met one of my future CEOs in an elevator in Chicago. And little did I know she was actually interviewing for a CEO role at the time. So you never know where you're going to meet people. So that's just my advice. And I recently retired because life goes on very quickly here. And of course, we'll be trying to help Multipod in many other ways in my free time. So you'll be hearing from me, and that's why I keep connecting with you all through LinkedIn. So I'd love to hear your stories. So thanks.
Wonderful, Ellie. Thank you very much. And I will make an announcement later in the year of what Ellie is going to be doing at Multipod. And Cortisha, can you tell us something about yourself? We have Dr. Flugman here with us, but he's going to be the last one. Last. Okay, Cortisha, please go ahead.
Hello, good morning, good evening, good night. This is a surprise. I didn't know I was presenting today, but I'm ready. My background is in molecular biology, and I have a master's in community health and health administration. I work mainly in STI, infectious diseases, in the clinical trial space, vaccines, observational studies, and all that kind, mainly in Asia and Eastern Africa. Originally, when I started my career, I wanted to do nursing. I always want to help people, but then getting into the clinical trial space has broadened my mind, And then getting into the public health space has aroused my interest to provide health on education. I agree, education is health. Exposure, so you get exposure and education. And I think just making people aware of things they could do to improve themselves, especially the underrepresented and downcast in our world, is where my heart is. So I jumped on the opportunity when I saw the ad one Saturday. I was just researching what to do with my life, and I found the multipod ad online. And my hope is to get guidance, to learn from each of the mentors and the mentees, and to see where I can find my space. I really believe in the program. Right now, my mentor and I are working on a program, an antimicrobial program in my country. Wow, you know, um, it's a big deal for me because I live in the U.S. and I am from St. Lucia. I'm from the Caribbean, and I always wanted to get into the health sector, but I didn't know how to. So this is like a first step. So I will be in the program for longer than 1 year because getting the program started, it's taking a long time because people are on vacation. They are taking a long time to respond. So I will be in the multi-port program for more than a year. That's all. Yeah.
Great, Kutisha. Kutisha comes from St. Lucia, and St. Lucia is small island in the Caribbean. How many are you? 150? How many?
160, yeah, 1,000, yeah.
At least I don't know the 10,000. I'm sorry, but
It's okay.
they have the first Nobel Prize
Too.
literature.
Mhm.
Eric Walcott, a wonderful poet. That many times what he does is takes all Greek mythology, for example, the Odyssey, the Iliad, and writes poetry and also plays, but poetry that has to do with the Caribbean and transforms many of the myths. And if you read him, he's really great. So he deserves the Nobel Prize. Okay, and I'm very proud that you got it. So you should be very proud too. Okay, we have somebody who doesn't want to talk, but I'm going to force her to talk. Her name is Anaidi Vaquero, and then we have Dr. Flu. Anaidi, please.
Okay. So hi everyone. Just going to present myself. Yeah.
Everything. Okay.
Okay. So everything. I was born. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know I was going to talk either, so just going to improvise. I'm 24 years old. I'm from Colombia. I was kind of lost, but now I think I'm finding my direction in life. Something that Besawit said that really stuck with me when she was talking was that she mentioned something like she was open to whatever the path that life can give her to continue to work on. And I don't know, that really hit me because I was like, that's something that I can identify with, and just I'm open. I have always been told that I have to follow a specific direction, just like this is step one, this is step two. And I don't know, it was thinking about different, like being open to different opportunities is something that I didn't consider before. And I'm in love with that because for example, Dr. Zacharias usually tell me that I don't have to stick. That's the word. Stick with a specific career or a specific job, and I feel free after just embracing that concept, just being able to try and be flexible with what life can offer me. That's something I really appreciate. And I really enjoy listening to all of you because you are so wise. You are also so wise. And I really appreciate that in people because I can learn from you, even if you say just 2, 3 words, just how passionate you are about your life, about what you are doing, and what you want to achieve. It's something that it's beautiful, and yeah, I admire that from all of you. So that's it. Thank you very much.
No, that's not it. As you know, Anairi is the program officer, and I have had the pleasure and privilege of working with her for now 3 years, I think. And I was also fortunate enough to steal her. She was working for an NGO in Washington from Colombia, Women Palante, which help Latina entrepreneurs in Washington to become economically independent. And she finished her contract there, and immediately, boom, I took her. And we started working, and this young lady finished university 1 or 2 years before anybody else. So she's not, and she's exactly what we were looking for. And she didn't want to leave Cincelejo, but she felt that's my country, that's my city, that's where I am. Finally, she realized that there was something else in the world. So she applied to several universities and she was accepted. George Washington, American University, and in Duke, she was put on the waiting list. So she did that, and it was so expensive. And then she decided to go to Spain, and she was accepted at the inter-university program in Barcelona. 3 or 4 universities in Barcelona and another one in Girona. And something that I didn't know existed, which is called Youth and Society. Isn't that the name, Anaili?
Yeah.
Society. Because she's always been interested in helping other young people, and now she's going to have a master's in that area. So I have to add something because she's too modest, and I keep telling her. Oh, by the way, she's a professional in international business, so she knows everything there is to know about administration, finance, etc., etc. So don't be modest. Now, Dr. Flugman, welcome to you. Welcome to you. We met through LinkedIn, but he's a fellow PAHO professional from some time ago. I knew about him, but I didn't know him. So please, can you introduce yourself? He may join us next year as a mentor. We don't know yet. That's why I invited him, so that he could meet some of you.
Yeah, good afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are in this world. I'm Adrianus Storm Vlugman. I'm retired from PAHO as I started as a sanitary engineer. Now I call myself a plumber. Yes, for very obvious reasons I developed over the years. I became advisor, water supply, sanitation, environmental health, and climate change adaptation. But as a sanitary engineer, I realized that my topic is something you don't discuss over dinner, as my wife always says. I've been in the Caribbean for 40 years, 38 to be precise, and working throughout the region as advisor. And I'm delighted to share my professional as well as personal experiences with the young kids, because I call everybody younger than 70 young kids. Because when I started, I was a very young and insecure. And I'm sure that a lot of young professionals have the same feeling. And I like to share my path to where I am now, old and retired, with a gray beard, with a use at Christmas time to play the appropriate role. And but I like to share my experiences. I have also written a number of stories about my professional and personal life as well. My justification why I became a sanitary engineer, as well as my professional development, overcoming insecurity. Basically, it is, in my case, was just hard work, dedicated hard work, because security doesn't fall out of the sky. It is based on your own professional experiences. And be not shy to ask questions, especially when it comes to assumptions. And we all fall in that trap. We assume we live in the same reality as other people, which we don't. Everybody has his own concept of what is real around us. And that's where communication comes in. Ask questions, and of course, most difficultly, and that is one of my weakest points, according to my wife, is listen. Yeah, and that is ask the right questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions and listen to the answer. And most importantly, listen to people you don't agree with. So don't fall in that box of echo chamber. That's the easiest thing you can do. But have the courage, discipline, and the confidentiality of the security in yourself, confidence in yourself to listen to people you don't agree with without jumping to assumptions and conclusions. So I'm happy to share young professionals in their development, or to guide in their development, and makes you a strong, confident, competent professional in whatever field you choose to be in.
Wonderful.
That's in short my introduction.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And this is an area in which we need more mentors and more professionals. We started as a global health oriented program, then we introduced human development, and then finally environmental protection and water and sanitation and everything that has to do with that. So this young man, for me, everybody's young man is going to, I hope, to be a mentor for the group of 2025, or maybe he can start earlier. Okay, it's 11:22. I think we're past the time. And I just wanted to let you know that in October, we have 3 possibilities for a webinar. One is on artificial intelligence. The other one is implementation science. And don't be scared or whatever, afraid of the name. Is health policy and management with an elegant name is the same. And with a more rigorous scientific approach. Otherwise, we have another one on the role of women in emergencies. But we don't know which one. We have invited the people, and whoever answers first will go first. Okay. Well, I want to thank you, everybody. But before we go, Anaili, please take a picture. I don't know if Michael, you have a camera.
Yeah. Screenshot.
Oh, and we have our friend, Dr. Alberto Concha. I have known him for how many years, Alberto? Since the 24 years ago? We cannot hear you.
30 years, Fernando, about 30 years.
We can hear you. We can hear you. And it's very, 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 very good to be able to say this. he's better than me. Okay, and I wanted for him to feel blush and to feel embarrassed, because that's the truth. And there were two professionals in our division. One was him, and the other one was another guy. And when our boss said, well, the two excellent professionals that we have in the division are Alberto and the other guy. And I was so fortunate that my office was in between both of them, the two of them. So I said, well, we are the three best in the organization, because I was in the middle of the two. And then I said, well, it's contagious. So I wanted to let you know, he's been a mentor for quite some time, even before Multipod, and he will continue to be a mentor. So I didn't give you more time, Alberto, because I wanted to tell the truth about you. Okay? And I don't know if Michael is here from Ethiopia. No, he's left. Okay, so why don't you take a picture, Anaili?
Yeah.
Anaili is also a mentee of Alberto, and she's going to Spain finally.
Okay. Everyone, those who doesn't have their camera on, there's a few seconds you can turn on. Okay. Perfect.
Don't smile, because we're all serious people.
Ghost.
So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, and then you smile, and I will.
If you want to smile.
You can smile.
Merry Christmas.
So 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. Everyone look perfect.
Okay, thank you, and I'll see you next time. And thank you for participating.
Nice meeting you all.
Yeah, nice meeting everyone.
Thank you
Thanks
very
for
much.
organizing this, Fernando.
Get well, Alex, get well soon. And hope Sebastian is okay.